I think we already know the main villain of FNaF 2, and I think I can also prove it. Hello everyone, welcome back to that one FNaF guy. So continuing the streak of talking about the FNaF movies, I think I know who the main villain in FNaF 2 will be. See, we've already got a lot of info about the movie. It releases in like 80 days, so it's not surprising that we've got a lot of info. And one of the most mysterious characters in the movie so far is the puppet. We don't know what their deal is. They are lurking around in a bunch of shots in the trailer. They are spooky as hell. So I predict they are going to be the main villain of FNaF 2. And you may think, well, why? I do have proof, so without further ado, let's dive in. So, let's talk about the games first. The puppet already has major significance, being one of the co-founder's daughters, and they're implied to be William's first victim, killed at Freddy's. And of course, she was the one who gave gifts and give life to the souls, presumably in the first movie and the second movie. Of course, we already know that that's how it is in the games, but we don't know if the movie's gonna follow that. They also seem to have sentience, unlike all the other animatronics, because of her line in UCN.
The others are like animals, but I am very aware.
She's definitely a special one of like the core victims. But let's move on to the movie. So the puppet was teased in the ending of the first movie where we hear "My grandfather's clock" and also "Come find us." This was huge, like this is the end credit scene, so of course it was setting up something big. Why would it just be a teaser for the puppet and not the toy animatronics, who presumably are gonna have more focus? Why is it the puppet instead? I think it's odd that the puppet was teased if they aren't gonna have a major goal, and I think that major goal could be that they are the main villain of FNaF 2. The puppet never got any teasers for the 10th anniversary of FNaF. Not in the behind the scenes images, not in the script pages, which is odd, because every other character got teased. The main human ones were mentioned in the scripts, we got looks at the wizards and the toys, but no puppet, which I think is interesting. We don't actually see them in the teaser trailer, but we see the toys a lot, and you'd think they were just a normal animatronic, they'd be like following around, killing more people in the trailer, but no, they aren't. They're absent in the teaser, and when we see them in the teaser, they're either blurred or very obscured. Now, I think this is important. Why would they not have an in-focus shot of the puppet in the main teaser, in the main trailer? You know, we see every other animatronic besides Withered Freddy, and they are all in good, clean shots. Why not the puppet? I think it's a bit odd. One of the first lines we hear in the trailer are, "A little girl got murdered here." Why would they put this in the trailer if they didn't want us to speculate about it? I think this is important because it proves that, you know, this was public information, because how would McKenna's character know about it? The puppet actually seems to be haunting Vanessa in the trailer. This could be trailer manipulation, we're not sure, but in every shot we see them with Vanessa, which I do have a theory about. We'll cover that later in the video. McKenna's character says, "Do you guys hear that?" while hearing the puppet's music box. This proves that the puppet is more sentient than the other toy animatronics, and I'll talk a bit more about that now. So in the San Diego Comic-Con panel, we hear,
"The marionette would come out of this trap door on the stage and direct the other animatronics during performances." That's right.
She could also be directing the puppets and the withered animatronics, because the toy animatronics still have that like plastic foil thing on them when we see them in the trailer, so that proves that they've been absent, and the puppet's been absent as well. We see Lizzie winding up a box near the puppet, and that's what sets the puppet off, but the toy animatronics weren't aggravated. I think the puppet is controlling the toys. Not so sure about the wizards, but it's definitely possible. Also in the San Diego Comic-Con panel, we see McKenna going to the puppet, and she's the first kill. And we know that this is important to note because there's been night gods there, because we see presumably Jeremy Fitzgerald or maybe a twist Mike Afton in the pizzeria in the San Diego Comic-Con panel and in the trailer. We see Vanessa having hallucinations in the trailer of her dad. Usually hallucinations happen in FNaF due to a spirit haunting them or a spirit causing them. Could the puppet have inflicted these hallucinations on Vanessa? I think that's definitely possible. Not so sure, but I think it's important to note. They've also casted for a young Vanessa in this film. Could they have been friends before, and since Vanessa is an Afton, they could be sad that Vanessa betrayed them and helped out in the missing kids incident or something like the death. Anyway, let's theorize. So I think the puppet is going to be the main villain of FNaF 2. We see them haunting Vanessa, like I've already mentioned. They've already cast for young Vanessa. I think the puppet had connections to young Vanessa. I'm not sure what connections, but I think there's definitely something there. I'm not entirely sure what though. I hope it's explained in the movie. And also the toy animatronics seem to be going mainly after Vanessa in the trailer. Like, they're not after Abby or Mike, they're after Vanessa because, you know, they had trauma with Vanessa. You know, I think it would be cool to, like, see this plot. I think it's a viable plot. I think it works. I definitely think it could be interesting to see how they pull it off. Henry Emily was teased by Skeet Ulrich in this clip.
Can I see the name? Henry Emily?
You can, I can't.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
So I hope that they have somewhat of a connection there. But yeah, that is all for this video. And yeah, this has been that one FNaF guy, signing off.